My experience in being in the work is that with my ex, and I had been divorced for a long time. We'd been married for a long time and then divorced for a long time. And I just knew that, he was a number of things, and I wasn't willing to look at that for a long time. And as I got to the place, the forgiveness thing was real big for me. Forgiveness is when you realize that what you thought happened didn't. And as I was able to be in the work longer and look back, I realized that I had no idea so much of whatever went on for him.
Yeah.
And as I was realizing that, I got really nauseated every time I realized it, because I thought, oh my God, I lived so long with what he had done to me. And the thought of having to live through what I thought he did to me, and then to have to apologize to him for it made me...
It really can make you physically ill.
Physically ill. So that actually went on for a couple years.
I used to say, I am vomiting myself up.
Yeah. And so I would be kind to myself, and I thought, I'm not there yet. I'm just not yet there yet. And then months would go by, and then I would revisit, and I became more at peace with. I just don't know the man that I was married to for 19 years, and I really don't know what went on. And if I do need to tell him, and I also need to thank him for everything he gave me, because when I got to go back and look, I saw that there was a great deal he gave. When I dropped my story, he gave me actually 21 years of his life and 4 children, and he gave me everything he had, and he stayed with me. I wanted him in my life because I did not want to live without him. From the beginning, when we were getting together, he tried to leave, and I said, no, I will do anything that we need to be together. I need you. And this man gave up 21 years when he would have, and he tried like 6 or 7 or 8 times to leave over 21 years. And each time I said, I will do anything for this not to happen, and I will make your life wonderful, and I will make your life work. And because I couldn't face life without him, I felt I would die without him. And he was kind enough.
So he gave you the gift of his life.
He gave me
the children.
He did.
Didn't want to be there, gave you the gift of his life.
And the minute I could live without him, the moment it happened, he left about 10 hours later. What a guy. He stayed as long as I needed him, and from the moment I didn't, he was sleeping about 8 of those hours, but the 2 that he was awake, he left, which I also held against him. And I got to, so this one, I got so that I could understand this, and it didn't nauseate me anymore. I got to just see the beauty
it's again,
of the gift.
It's the truth that sets us free.
The truth, it was so the truth. And he so clearly would have chosen to live with someone else if I hadn't believed that I needed him, in order to live, and he wasn't willing to leave me when I needed him that badly. Oh my God, what a gift. Yeah. So the time came, I knew it was coming. I could now think about it without being nauseated. I could think about it without crying. And I actually found him at one point, ran into him in a Trader Joe's, because it was clear this wasn't a conversation to have at a family get-together.
So if you hold just a moment, it's so important to hear she just wasn't going to do it until she was ready.
Yeah.
This is so important. It's not done until it's done. And when you can stay on, in your own amends and stay out of what they did, out of their business, then...
And I knew the perfect time would come, so I didn't have to set it up. It was hard. If you're in family thing together, it's inappropriate to go into. So I just knew that with the work, there would be a perfect time, and I ended up running into him at a Trader Joe's, and didn't realize the short conversation we had, but after he left, I thought, oh, this might be a good time. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to check out, and if he's in the parking lot, I'll know this is the time. And so he was. And I went to him and I said, may I have a conversation with you? because he doesn't like emotional stuff, and
Yeah.
I wanted to
You
give
were
him that.
respectful.
Yeah. And so he said yes. And I got to say what I had come to realize, what the gift he had
Wow.
given me. He would have chose differently for his life. I'm so grateful. And I didn't realize it. I was very confused. And I'm not so confused anymore. And I wanted him to know how grateful I was for what he gave me, all that he could. And I apologized for trashing him and for not understanding. He told me that he loved me and he would always love me. And I got to say, I've come to understand that as well. And walking away from him after doing that is one of the highest moments of my life. I felt it was nothing about him. I didn't do it for him. I did it to share my truth. And it was so freeing to go into every confused place I could and to let him know that I was just grateful for all that he had done. And so it isn't, I just wanted to let you know it can be a little involved in stuff, but it's so...
Well, you had a lot to say because you had done your work, and it's available, and it can just flow when it's so beautiful.
I could say to him, I have really so little idea of what went on, but I am clear about the gifts and all you did, and I thank you.
Thank you, Katie. I'm new to the work, and I really appreciate what you just said about a former spouse. I had a big, long marriage early in my life, and it's so interesting how many of us have former spouses in this room. There was a time when I thought that if he just died, I would be okay.
How many of you were really hoping for that even? It's like, I don't have to do my work if he would just die. I don't have to deal with this.
I'm here to tell you that happened, and it wasn't okay. And I didn't get the chance to tell him how much I loved him and how grateful I was, and to make amends. And I don't know what to do with that right now.
Go somewhere where it's really quiet and get very still and very comfortable, and with your eyes closed, imagine him sitting across from you, and do it. Get it done from, that inside place of you. And then to make it right, just live it out with the rest of us and the other men in your life, and women and cats and dogs and trees.